I went to bed last night, and it was green grass here in Kentucky. I woke up and there's snow on the ground. Snow covered all over my truck. I had to scrape a bunch of snow off. It's cold out. What the hell happened, man? Overnight when I was asleep. Anyway. Thank God I'm not lazy. I just had my breakfast at McDonald's. My coffee. Got my Go Juice. And I'm ready to go. Rick Scott, Florida governor. You know, I was seriously considering, I don't really have a home right now. I live in my truck. I'm saving up for a place. Me and my girlfriend are going to be getting a place together. I'm saving up, and then I'm going to quit over the road. Retire. And just do local shit. So where should I settle down? Well, anyway, Rick Scott, I was really considering, he's a Florida governor. I was really considering moving to Florida. I like Florida. It's a Republican state. It's a red state. They support the Second Amendment. It's warm. It's cheap. And I like living close to the water. I like the water. I love the beach. So I was thinking about Florida. And then Rick Scott does something. He sells himself out to the Democratic Nazi Party. I am a lifetime member of the NRA. I will never give up my guns, my freedom, or my love for Jesus Christ. So now, if I move to Florida, I gotta wait 3 days to buy a gun. Why should I have to wait 3 days? Why should a patriot wait 3 days to be able to defend themselves? They shouldn't. Now the minimum age to purchase a gun in Florida is 21. I guess I can understand that, being the fact that a lot of these 18-year-olds nowadays are immature. But there should be some exceptions to that. Military. I think there is. I don't know. Military, police, whatever. If you're old enough to join the military, you should be old enough to buy a gun. If you're old enough to join the military, you should be old enough to drink beer. I was watching a video of these military vets, 19 years old, walk inside of a bar and they can't get a drink. Something wrong. And they put their lives on the line. It's just, our priorities are fucked up. Banning bump stocks. Can't say I'm for it or against it. I'm kind of like biased when it comes to that. I'm kind of like 50-50. I never owned a bump stock. I owned just about anything. I got, you name it, I got it. I got pistol grips. I got high capacity magazines. I got just about anything. I don't own any bump stocks. Florida now becomes the second state next to Massachusetts that bans bump stocks. Basically what a bump stock is, it's just a piece of plastic you put on the edge of your gun. It can make it fire faster. That's pretty much all it is. It's really kind of pointless, but at the same time, I don't know. It depends how fast you could pull that trigger. And I'm a pretty good shot. I could pull that trigger pretty damn fast. One pull of the trigger, one shot. I'm pretty damn good. I can move my finger 100 miles an hour. I could probably fire 100 rounds in a minute. And this is a semi-auto I'm talking about. Not just one pull of the trigger. My finger moves fast. But anyway, 100 rounds a minute, yeah. And that's with reloading. So bump stocks, they're really, it's a piece of plastic. I think it's pointless. I think the damn things are just pointless. It's a pointless law. And I have no opinion on bump stocks. I really don't. They're just, I don't see the point of them. They're just, I think they're pointless. I don't see the use of them. I really don't have an opinion on bump stocks. If they want to ban them, go for it. I'm really not against it or for it or whatever. Rick Scott, though. The good thing is that there's assault weapons not banned. That's the good thing, because I own an AR-15. But then again, you have these libtards that don't understand the definition of an assault weapon. An assault weapon is defined as a rifle shooting multiple times with one pull of the trigger. These kinds of weapons have been banned since 1934. So you're trying to pass a law of a weapon that's already banned. So that's why the assault weapons ban didn't go through. It's pointless. Sort of like bump stocks. It's pointless. Almost does nothing. It does do nothing. I don't like the fact that there's a 3-day waiting period now, and I don't like the fact that you got to be 21 now to buy a gun. Well, I'm 35 years old, so it doesn't really matter on me. I'm almost 36. But I'm saying, my son or daughter, if they want to be able to protect themselves and they want to get on their own at 18, they got to wait till they're 21 to protect themselves. So I'm reconsidering my position on Florida. And you should too. I hope that Florida does not become another California. Florida is like, how do I say this? You know, with the beaches and, you know, you got a lot of celebrities there. Around the Miami area. So Florida is like the Republican version of California, kind of. But I hope it doesn't become blue like California. That's going to be sad, because I love the beach. I love being close to water, and I really want to move to Florida. I want to retire from this over-the-road shit, and I want to get a house in Daytona Beach. That's my plan. If these Republicans sell out to the Democratic Nazi Party, I'm going to have to move somewhere else. The Second Amendment wasn't put into play and should not be amended because a bunch of kids get crying on TV because of a nut that took something that exact replica of what I own and goes on a rampage with it. I mean, I'm sorry for what happened down there in Florida. It's tragic, yeah. But here's something that the bill also... This bill is kind of... There's good things about it and there's bad things about it. The good thing about this bill is now teachers can be armed in schools. That's a plus. So I'm kind of like 50-50 on this bill. I don't like the age limit going up. I don't like the 3-day waiting period. But the good thing is, now assault weapons, you have to dumb yourself down to their terms. I already explained what an assault weapon is. But because libtards think an assault weapon is an AR-15, I have to dumb down to their level. So I support the fact that they didn't pass the assault weapon ban. even though that's not what an assault weapon is. Then they like to bring up the issue of muskets. The word musket doesn't even appear in the Second Amendment. And the word gun doesn't appear in the Second Amendment. It says arms. For you lib idiots. But I'm for the armed teachers thing, so I'm not saying this is necessarily a bad bill, but it's not great. It could be better. Rick Scott, why did you sell yourself out to these Dems? Come on, man. I knew he was smarter than that. If I was the governor, I wouldn't have signed it. I'm like, nope, there's no deal. I'm not going to raise the age limit. I'm not going to have a 3-day waiting period. Nope, no deal. It also allows police to confiscate guns. It gives them a better chance of confiscating guns. This is the one thing I really don't like. I mean, I don't want the mentally disabled to have guns, don't get me wrong. But what are we going to consider mentally disabled now? Under this law, if a neighbor across the street, well, I don't like the way that guy looked at me. There's a story floating around. I don't know if there's any truth to it or not. But there's a story floating around. I think it happened in Florida. Where a guy was legally open carrying. Now, Florida's not an open carry state, but it is. If you're on private property, you can open carry. If you're on your own property, yeah, you can open carry. Oh, I don't really care about open carry. I always conceal carry. But anyway, there was a guy, he was open carrying legally on his private property. Neighbor across the street seen it. So the guy goes inside. He gave the neighbor a dirty look because the neighbor was giving him a dirty look. And the neighbor called the police and be like, yeah, this guy might be mentally ill. And they took his gun. So if you want to pass a bill saying that the police have more power to confiscate guns, what are we going to classify as mentally ill, though? That's the issue. Are we going to classify looking at somebody, giving somebody a dirty look, mentally ill? Are we going to classify somebody that goes on a Facebook rant or YouTube rant like I do? That's, talks about conspiracies and stuff? Pure freedom of speech. I never put out terrorist threats or anything. Are we going to consider that mentally ill? Freedom of speech? This bill is a violation of our First Amendment, freedom of speech. It's a violation of the Second Amendment. It's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. Because you need a warrant or due process. You can't just confiscate guns without due process. Bullshit. That's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. So I'm seriously reconsidering my position on Florida. If this is the shit they're going to do. If you look at somebody wrong, or if you got a crazy neighbor. Oh my God, he's got a gun. You see what's happening here? And if Donald Trump supports confiscating guns without due process, then he's not going to get my vote in 2020. He said your Second Amendment's safe. Okay. I want to believe him. Prove it. He's doing a good thing with North Korea. He's getting them to stand down. He didn't even hit the fire one weapon. And he's killing the shit out of ISIS. And liberals are still upset. So I applaud Donald Trump for the thing he's meeting with. Liberals are having a huge hissy fit because he wants to meet with Kim Jong-un. Would you rather have us go to nuclear war with each other? Or would you rather have him sit down at a table and be like, hey, let's negotiate? I'd rather have peace. I think it's a great thing he's doing. They're upset about him meeting Putin. They're upset about him meeting Rodrigo Duterte. I mean, it's just stupid. Anyway, I'm not sure if I got 15 minutes or longer on this channel. I think I do, now that my channel's strike-free. I don't know. But anyway, that's it.